In your morning consumer news, Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum says her country might sue Google over a controversial map change. The tech giant changed the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America after Trump's executive order. Sheinbaum says U.S. maps now use the new name for the entire body of water, even though Trump's order only applies to waters along the U.S. coast. Southwest Airlines announcing it will cut 15% of its corporate workforce, more than 1,700 people. This is the first mass layoff in the company's history. The cuts are expected to start in April and will include senior leadership. 11 senior executives, including some vice presidents, will be let go. State Farm faces pushback over plans to raise rates in Louisiana. The insurance giant wants to hike homeowners' rates by 22% and rental coverage by 38%. State Farm says it needs the increase after paying out more than $1 billion in wildfire claims. State officials are demanding proof and questioning why such steep increases are needed. Both sides will meet next week. Experts have been warning about a severe nationwide shortage of air traffic controllers long before last month's tragedy at Ronald Reagan International Airport. While no air traffic controllers lost their jobs recently, many of their support personnel did, like people who maintain the equipment they use. Andrew Freeman reports.
Look at the crowds in here. I mean, we have to be safe traveling.
Frank Brienzi says despite recent airline disasters, his frequent flying hasn't slowed down.
My wife and I have traveled every week since through all this. We just got back from Utah.
While he says he doesn't feel unsafe flying, he believes the government should be doing more to address the nationwide shortage of air traffic controllers.
And I think you need to be totally funded, and I think you have to have the best people in each of those towers.
At Austin Bergstrom International Airport, Austin area Congressman Lloyd Doggett says the Federal Aviation Administration only employs 30 of the recommended 60 air traffic controllers. He strongly disagrees with cuts to the agency made by the Trump administration over the weekend.
They go in with a meat cleaver and eliminate everyone instead of determining who's doing their job well and who's not.
The Professional Aviation Safety Specialists, or PASS union, says nearly 300 of its probationary employees were fired, including maintenance mechanics, information specialists, and aviation safety assistants. A spokesperson says there are 100 probationary employees in Texas alone, but it's unclear how many may have been fired or otherwise exempt because the FAA has yet to provide them with a full list. Congressman Doggett says many of those employees affected would likely be in Dallas, but the ripple effect on the system can't be understated, especially at an airport that's had several near misses in recent years.
They're less likely to be trained, and we're less likely to have all of our equipment in perfect working condition. So it is very intertwined. And it makes travel more dangerous.
Brienzi says when it comes to cuts, the FAA shouldn't be on the chopping block.
There's wasteful places and there's places that need to be funded. Obviously, the FAA needs to be funded because we need to fly all over the place.